Back in Syracuse as the Crunch gets set for the first game of just 2 games this weekend. Tonight, it's the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. Crunch winning 3 games last week. On Countdown at Crunch Time, I'm Lukas Favale, joined by Crunch head coach Ben Groulx, presented by Supercuts. Ben, 3 games and 3 wins last week. The last one was on Saturday, a 5-2 win over the Laval Rocket. What did you see of the game last Saturday as the Crunch picked up their 3rd win in a row?
Well, you know what? I thought overall it was a good week for us. It was, when you play against, at this part of the year, when you play against teams that are not making the playoff, it's always, those games are always at risk. And you got to make sure that you prepare properly and you play the right way, and we did that. We just did that, and I was pleased with our effort against Binghamton and those 2 teams over the weekend. So no, it was a good test for us. We did well. Another good test this weekend against 2 very good teams. Bridgeport, they're in a race to make the playoff, and Utica, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and you talked about teams who are missing the playoffs, and last week was 2 of those. So what does it tell you about your team preparation-wise going into a matchup against teams who are still playing for something, not the playoffs, but playing for something else?
Yeah, I was happy. I thought we had good discussions with our players, and they knew we had to take those games the right way, and we did it. We took control of the game early in bingo. We did the same thing against Laval. So, no, I thought it was a good weekend.
Crunch, you're getting set for the Bridgeport Sound Tigers here tonight and last week against Laval. And in all 3 games, Olivier Archie scored a goal. He got 4 goals over the week. He's got points in 5 straight games. He got rewarded with a contract not only for this year but for next year. Yeah. What has he been doing here since really he came here as he's become more of an all-around player for the Crunch?
Well, you know what? When you look at those guys that come from the East Coast League, they're always coming here in an emergency situation, like we're missing players, and we're desperate to have guys that can play, that can bring something. And when the player ends up being scoring or bring something defensively, when he brings something to the table, you're always happy. And then when he becomes more effective and he becomes more important for your team, it's a big bonus. So I think that's what Archie's been doing, like bring speed, bring skills, compete hard. I think he's got a lot of tools in his box, and it's for him to be consistent at doing necessary things every day to have success, and it's on him. Like, I think he's got the opportunity here, and it's for him to make sure that he comes here every day prepared and play the right way.
And it seems like he's been playing with a lot more confidence as well of late. And that's something we kind of been talking about, this team, when they play with confidence, especially a lot of these young guys. It seems like they just build off of that and can go on tears, and we're seeing that right now with Archie and Bo. So what about playing with confidence? Yeah,
I think it's huge. It's huge for not only Archie or our team, but it's huge for any hockey player. When you look at many of them, like when the game starts, they score an early goal, then it seems that they get going, like they're flying out there, they skate, the energy is there, and so it's always fun to see those guys playing with confidence, and it's something we try to keep up all the time, whether by the way we design our practice or the way we use our guys.
Crunch are getting set for the Bridgeport Sound Tigers here tonight. The game on Saturday. Really, last week the Crunch were kind of depleted a bit defensively, and a couple of guys who are on here, PTOs from the ECHL, are here. But a guy stepping up in a big way has been Matt Bodie, it seems like, at least from my perspective, and not only putting up points, he had 3 against the Rocket, but also defensively. What have you seen from him as he's a former captain, obviously stepping up here defensively with some of the bigger names out with injuries?
Well, you know what, overall I thought Bodes and Dom Machine were outstanding for us last weekend. Like they had to carry the load for our group defensively, and they were in every mission. Like they played solid, they played with poise, they had a lot of composure, make good plays. So overall it was not only for Bodes, but I think for them as well, was a very good weekend.
Crunch are getting set for the Bridgeport Sound Tigers here tonight. And obviously, the big news was at least Michael Bourneval going down with an injury still. We don't know how long that might be, but out with here tonight at least. That's a big loss for the Crunch. He's obviously been a big player for Syracuse, brings a lot of what you try to instill in a player. So who could possibly maybe step up in a role like that, or how do you replace a player like Michael Bourneval for now?
Well, right now we know he's out for the weekend, so we'll see after if it's a long-term injury or we got lucky, but he's a tough loss, obviously. And it's not about replacing Benoit. It's about one guy here is going to have an opportunity to have more ice time, and it's for that person to be ready. Like in this league is full of opportunities, and when the train stop at the station, whether you jump on it or you watch him go. So for us, it's we're looking for that guy to step in and get the job done. Who that guy's going to be, we'll see how Benoit how long he's out, but for now, this weekend, I think it's an opportunity for we're going to go 11-7, so forward's going to see more ice time, and we'll see how it plays out.
It's the Sound Tigers here tonight inside the War Memorial Crunch, getting for 2 games this weekend. No Wednesday game this week, so more time to get some practice in, and there was some skills work and stuff done. How beneficial at this point of the year is having a week like this to kind of regroup a bit?
It's great. It's always great, like not only this week, but at this period of the year, but anytime in the year that you can have like those practices, those week of practice. This is what Syracuse bring. Like when you're here, traveling is low, so you spend a lot of times practicing, and you can work individually and collectively. So now I think it's been a tough week for the players, because very demanding week for the players in terms of being on the ice and off ice session, and but it's good for them. It's good for their development, and I think it's going to be very good for our team down the road.
Here with Crunch head coach Ben Groulx, the Crunch are taking on the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. Only the second matchup of the year between these two teams, and it's the final one. And as you said earlier, this is a team desperate for wins. They're outside looking in the playoff picture. They're 7 points out. How does the Crunch match their desperation level here tonight?
Well, they're a good team. We know they're going 4 lines. They go hard. They take time and space away. They don't give you anything free. Like, you got to work for your chances. You got to work for your second chances. You got to work to go in the slot. So that's going to be our challenge tonight.
All right, looking forward to it as the Crunch take on the Bridgeport Sound Tigers here tonight. This is Crunch head coach Ben Groulx, presented by Supercuts. Ben, thanks for your time and good luck tonight.
Thank you.